So, in between court appearances this weekend, Trump is holding a retreat to audition his potential picks for vice president. Here's who made the short list to potentially take Mike Pence's place in the noose.
Ooh, dark.
That was a little dark, I admit. Doug Burgum, Elise Stefanik, Marco Rubio, Tim Scott, J.D. Vance, Byron Donalds, and the woman whose picture is on my dog Bernie's wee-wee pad, Kristi Noem. So who do you think makes a ticket and who doesn't? Have a prayer.
So the one I'm most intrigued by and fearful of in terms of helping Trump's electability is Marco Rubio. There's some issues there. You can't technically have two people from the state of Florida. He'd have to change his residence. But this is also someone who in 2016 vehemently opposed Donald Trump and has spent all of his time since then trying to get back into his good graces. What Trump is going to be looking for is four things. Someone who can raise money. He's behind in the money trail. He needs somebody who can go out and do that. Someone who's a great surrogate. So when he's sitting freezing in a courtroom, he can have somebody crisscrossing swing states and out campaigning for him.
And farting in a courtroom.
Allegedly. But also, they've basically given up on making inroads with female voters beyond what they already have. So they're looking at the numbers that they could pick up with black men and Latino men. And they have some data to suggest that they can make improvements. So Marco Rubio could potentially be helpful there. And then I think they need someone who seems mainstream and like an adult in the room. And Marco Rubio is beloved by Republicans. If I took away the fact that he's now a Trump defender and has flip-flopped on him, I agree with him on 85% of issues. I remember seeing him in 2012. He was the most compelling speech at the convention. He had this line, "My dad's bartending at the back of the room, so I could be the guy speaking at the front of the room." He scares me on a ticket. That's something that I think a lot of people would be like, I don't like Trump, but you know what? I trust Marco Rubio.
What's the delicate thing? So I don't understand the rule
They
about
would have
that.
to forfeit the delegates.
Yeah, but I
in
mean, they
Florida
did
if
not
they're both
think
from the
about a
same
president
state.
who could be a convict and that we could have an office. Yet they write a rule that I don't understand. Like, you just can't have two people from the same
state because you would have to forfeit
So
the delegates.
you have to change his residence.
Why?
It's
Conflict of
technically
interest?
not. I mean, it's a little more nuanced and complicated than that. It's technically not illegal, but it's also not politically advantageous. I'll give you the other side of the coin on Marco Rubio. Anybody who thinks Marco Rubio will help with the Latino community in general, I think doesn't understand the Latino community. We're not a homogeneous mass. Marco will definitely help in Florida, but Trump is already in very good shape in Florida. He will help with the Cuban American community. They're already eating out of the palm of his hand. I don't think that many Mexican Americans, many Puerto Ricans will be turned on by Marco Rubio. In fact, they might be turned off because there's a lot of intra-Latina. There's one lady over there saying, me.
I just raised my hand.
There's a lot of intra-Latino rivalries that are hard to understand. I also think Marco Rubio will outshine Donald Trump because he's a better speaker.
But he's too short for
He knows better.
Trump calls him Little Marco.
No, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I actually think that's a real thing. I think for Donald Trump, as superficial as it may sound, appearances are important, and he's not going to want to be with a guy who makes him look like Mr. Rourke and Tattoo from Fantasy Island.
How about that guy Burgum? What's his name?
I don't think he has the name recognition.
Just to speak for African American voters, if anyone thinks that Tim Scott is a the audience is cracking up. If anyone thinks that Tim Scott is going to bring over a bunch of black men, they really need to just get with it, because Tim Scott is the only African American senator in the Republican Party for a reason.
Yeah. There aren't that many Democrats, though, either. You guys only have, what, 3?
Yeah, but we have people like Hakeem Jeffries, and we have the...
Looking at the short list for the vice president for President Trump, some short lists came out. Some people shortlisted that who President Donald Trump might pick as his vice president. Normally, the vice president is always from long ago. Either you be African American or be Hispanic. Either they do a man, a woman. I guess they want to compensate. If the president, like the first black president, which was President Obama, he selected Joe Biden, which was a Caucasian. So they try to mix it up. They don't want to see like only one person is ruling over all the Caucasian. So they try to give chance to the other race. So some lists came out. They talk about, we have Tim Scott, We all know Tim Scott who told Donald Trump, I love you. Senator Tim Scott said he's the only senator in the Republican Party. So the women in the view said that there's a reason for that. That he is the only African American senator for Republican, because you know that usually if you say you are a Democrat, everybody know that you'll be black. But if you're black, everybody just know you're a Democrat. If you're Caucasian, you're a Republican. That's how it was then. Most people have break the norm, because now you see a lot of African American people being Republican. Just somebody like even Ben Carson is a Republican, so everybody was not happy with him. How can you be a black man but you're a Republican? You saw a lot of people insulted him for that, and it was so that's why the norm, looking at the politics in the United States for a while. So actually, Tim Scott, do you really believe Tim Scott can win? Let me see your opinion on the comment section. Can you tell me why he's going to choose Tim Scott? They talk about Governor Christie. We all know the governor in South Dakota who killed the dog and who killed the animal, goat. We know how people appreciate dog in the country. You killing a dog, some people will even give will, half of their will to their dog. There was this lady who gave all her will to her dog, or her families have to go to court and then fight it with the lawyer. You see how that's how people precious dog. So if you're killing a dog, you're killing a human being. So Christy Norm already know better, coming from the United States as a Caucasian for that matter. African American, you say normally maybe usually African American, they are not into dogs like that. Maybe she's a Caucasian, born and bred, or blue eyes. So it was one that, so they say her career have ended, she cannot be selected. There's Reverend Brian, there's Representative Brian Donald, that's another one also. We also have Representative Ellis Stefanik, that's another one, that's a lady. We have Governor Doug Bogum, that's another one also. Senator Marco Rubio, a Hispanic. So everyone is saying that he's very smart, he can talk very well. Although one point he was opposing Donald Trump, he apologized and came back for that. So but they are saying that if Marco wins, he can only be responsible for Florida, the Hispanic. Within the Hispanic also, they have their own tribal type of war, they fight among themselves. That's what Anna was saying. So she doubt if those Republican she doubt if the Republican in Florida are going to be supporting. So actually, what do you really think? Who is going to be the next pick for this vice president? Can I see your opinion on the comment section? Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and help share the video. God bless you.